We just got a new MacBook Pro with the M4 chip. Not only that, but we also saw the MacBook Air go from 8 GB of memory to 16 GB of memory. There's just a lot going on with the MacBooks this year. So even the base model M4 MacBook Pro is fantastic. The MacBook Air was already really good and it just got way better. So I understand it could be a little bit difficult to know which model you should buy. And that's exactly what we're gonna cover on this video. We're gonna talk about some of the differences in between the MacBook Air and the new base model M4 MacBook Pro. And hopefully this can help you with your buying decision. So if you're new here, my name is Ray. I talk about tech and do tech reviews just like this one. So if you like what you see, consider subscribing. Starting with size and portability, obviously the MacBook Pro lineup has always been a little bit heavier and a little bit thicker than the MacBook Air lineup, especially with the MacBook Pro lineup having a 14-inch and a 16-inch and the MacBook Air having a 13-inch and a 15-inch. So if you're looking for something that's more portable and a lot smaller, then the MacBook Air does win here. But yeah, even though the MacBook Pros are a lot thicker and heavier than the MacBook Air, they do have more ports than the MacBook Air, and this is the area where the MacBook Pros really do stand out. In the MacBook Air, you have two Thunderbolt USB-C ports, a MagSafe charger port, and a 3.5mm jack if you want to plug in some headphones. But in the MacBook Pro, you have three Thunderbolt USB-C ports, unlike the MacBook Air where you have two. You have an SD card slot, you have an HDMI port, a 3.5mm jack, and your MagSafe charging port. So when it comes to convenience, the MacBook Pro does a way better job than the MacBook Air, especially when you have all these ports in one spot. It's just a better option. And yes, you can make the case that, oh, you just go and buy the extra accessories for your MacBook Air and then you have the same experience. So now you gotta go and buy all these accessories, plug them in, unplug them when you're not using them, which takes away from the convenience that you get with the MacBook Pro. And now that we're talking about ports, you are finally able to connect your MacBook Pro to two separate 6K displays with the lid open, which is something that you're not able to do with the MacBook Air. And with the MacBook Air, you are able to connect it to two separate external displays, but you gotta have the lid closed, which all of a sudden takes away the ability for you to use the screen on your MacBook. So in that case with the MacBook Air, yes, you gain two more screens, but you lose one and you also lose the ability to use the MacBook keyboard and the trackpad itself since the lid has to be closed, which is something that doesn't happen with the MacBook Pro since we're able to have the lid open. With the MacBook Air, since it's closed, now you need an external keyboard, an external mouse, and all the peripherals, which takes away from the convenience. With the MacBook Pro, it'll also be easier to connect it to things like TVs, monitors, or cameras that use HDMI cables since you do have that port right in the MacBook Pro. So when it comes to ports and just having more options available, this is something where the MacBook Pro really shines over the MacBook Air. Other areas where these devices are different are the display, price, and battery life. When it comes to the price, if you look at the 13-inch MacBook Air, you're looking at $1,100, and when you're looking at the 14-inch MacBook Pro, obviously a little bit more expensive, you're looking at $1,600. Now, when it comes to battery life, the MacBook Pro has the MacBook Air beat by 6 hours. The MacBook Air goes up to 18 hours of battery life, and the base model MacBook Pro goes all the way up to 24 hours of battery life, which is a significant difference. When it comes to the display, both devices have a liquid retina display, but the one on the 14-inch M4 MacBook Pro is actually XDR, and the brightness on the 13-inch MacBook Air is actually 500 nits. On the MacBook Pro, it peaks at 1600 nits when it's HDR content, and when you're outside and it's SDR content, it goes all the way up to 1000 nits, which is actually pretty cool. Not to mention that the MacBook Pro has an 120Hz ProMotion mini LED display, which makes the user experience a lot better and the colors and contrast way better as well. And the MacBook Pro also has the new nano texture display option now, which help with reflections and glare, and when you pair all this together, it just makes for a crazy display on the new M4 MacBook Pro. And when it comes to the MacBook Air, you get an LCD display that runs at 60Hz with 500 nits of brightness, and it doesn't have the option to get a nano texture display like the MacBook Pro. Even when it comes to performance, we still gotta keep in mind that the MacBook Airs are rocking the M3 chip, and these new MacBook Pros are rocking the M4 chip. And obviously the MacBook Pros are for pro users, so they always have been known for outperforming the MacBook Air, so it's no brainer to say that the MacBook Pro will always do better than the MacBook Air when it comes to performance. Something else to keep in mind with the MacBook Air is that the base model with the 256 GB of storage is the one that's $1,100. If you want the model with 512, then it's gonna cost you an extra $200. 512 GB of storage is where the MacBook Pro starts, but if you still want to get the Air, another thing that you can do or look into is an external SSD, which will probably save you money. It all depends too. 556 might be good for some people. For some people, it's not enough. If it's good for you, there's also an M2 model of the MacBook Air going around that's $1,000 with the same gigabytes of storage. And now that you guys have been hearing me talk about the MacBook Pro standing out from the MacBook Air in some areas, the question is it still worth it to get the MacBook Air? The answer is, of course, 100%. The MacBook Air still has the M3 chip, which is perfect for everyday use, browsing, schoolwork, coding, even some video editing and some picture editing. Now, if you're looking to do anything beyond that, then that's when you start looking at the MacBook Pro. But other than that, if it's simple stuff, school, work, or anything like that, the MacBook Air is perfect for any of those tasks. Okay, so just to sum it all up, if you want to do something that's more task intensive, you want more ports, you want the ability to run things faster, then you definitely want to look at the MacBook Pro. Now, if you're doing simple things like everyday use, browsing, schoolwork, and some video editing and picture editing, then the MacBook Air will do the job just fine. Now, if you watch all the way towards the end, thanks so much for watching. If you have any questions or you want me to make a video about something else, leave it down in the comments. I hope you have a great rest of your day, and let me know which computer you ended up going with. Peace out.